is up? It is Quick Talk Sports. We are back. It is Aaron Larsuel. Lisa Ann, I think that's Nic Goodwin. I'm going to check after the show. We'll check his paperwork and find out. Big week in the NFL this past weekend. Shout out to my Cal Bears, 37-3 over Washington State. But a big weekend in the NFL. The number one story to me for the season as we continue on, and especially last week with Aaron Rodgers, is the injuries. Is it? What are we seeing here? Why is it so much? Is it just because it's big name guys? It seems like there's a rash of injuries. Maybe there aren't more than normal, but it seems like Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, J.J. Watt, Odell Beckham, etc. All these guys are out. We'll talk about the fantasy implications in a second, but is it souring you watching the games? It seemed like, especially in the Packers game, like every 3 or 4 plays somebody was down.
You know, it's just one of the things, and I think it's more amplified because we're all playing fantasy football. So players now mean more to us than teams. Whereas I think this same conversation 10 years ago would have been like, oh, there's a bunch of injuries, for Green Bay. Whereas now it's like, the number 1 draft pick in my league, and how's this going to affect Jordy Nelson? Our care and concern for every weapon that's out there that's going to be not the beneficiary of that quarterback. It's all changed how we're viewing it. We're seeing it more. It's more magnified. We're more into the elements that make up each team. And let's face it, these kids are training differently now from high school to college. Right. They're stronger when they get on the field, but they're also more beat up already. Look, we wouldn't know who Jimmy Garoppolo even was really if Tom Brady wasn't suspended at the beginning of the season. Right. And now we're all like, I've got him in my dynasty league, and I'm looking at him waiting like, when's your day coming, baby? I'm waiting for you, So it's you got to see the positive of it, and you've got to see the challenge that it does present in fantasy. This is when the serious players who know depth, who know who's next, who knows who can get the job done, this is when it really gets. Do not give up. Continue to look at who's out there on the waiver wire.
I'm going to give up on 0-6. But so because of that, we're going to play the game we play here, buy and sell a fantasy with fantasy guys. These guys are all going to happen to be from my team because I'm terrible and I need your help.
So we should assume sell.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we'll start because we always start with the quarterback because as we talked about before, they're usually the best looking dude on the team. Not in this case, however. Ben Roethlisberger, my quarterback, has captained me to an 0-6 start. Pittsburgh's offense in actual football looks pretty terrible, even though he has all the weapons. Le'Veon Bell has looked fantastic recently. Antonio Brown has been decent. Ben has been terrible. Buy or sell Ben as a starting fantasy quarterback. I'm in a 14-team league.
Sell.
The rest of the year, we're done.
You're 0-6.
Yes, I am.
Your patience must be spent. Sell.
Yeah. Okay.
Sell.
Nick?
I picked up Kirk Cousins in bye week.
What kind of league are you in where Kirk
Cousins
was available?
I was like,
right, an 8-team
but I also had, no, it's a 12-team.
Oh, all right, okay.
But I picked up Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? I mean,
so you're selling.
There's people out there. It's got to be something.
Okay.
I'm not thinking there's
Andy
Kirk
Dalton
Cousins.
was thrown back in a lot of leagues after week 4.
Yeah.
So, he might be available. Right now, a great thing to do is look at leagues that had Rodgers and see if you can make a trade with them as well. Maybe you don't know which, but sell.
Sure.
Who's next?
Okay. Also for my team, we're going to go to running backs. Marshawn Lynch, who occasionally gets in the end zone, but seems to get between 30 and 40 yards a week. And if he doesn't get in the end zone, it's a complete disaster. If he does get in the end zone once, it's just a mild disaster. Buy or sell him as a RB2 the rest of the year.
Bench or trade is my option I'm going to present to you. Bench or trade. Bench for someone better, but don't let someone else have him unless you get value in return.
Okay.
There might be somebody that's a big fan that sees a late season stretch and wants to have him on his bench, but just don't throw him back on the wire because he still could surprise us, and you would hate to see that in your head-to-head matchup. You get beat by a player you gave up on.
Yeah. Buy or sell Marshawn as a running back 2 or even a flex player the rest of the year.
Well, I've had to pick him up on one of my teams because of Dalvin. Because Dalvin went down, so I had to pick him up. I'm gonna sell. I don't know if
this is why I'm 0-6. Everybody I bring up, we need to sell. This is why I'm 0-6.
Yeah, I've only had him a couple weeks, but
I
wasn't sold on him in the beginning.
He was just the best running back on the wire for you to pick up. Yeah. Who's next?
We're going to go Julio Jones, and I'm going to start with Nick because you're a Falcons fan. Julio Jones still yet to get in the end zone this year.
Yeah.
Buy or sell him as, he should be the number 1 receiver in fantasy, especially with Odell out and Antonio Brown struggling. Buy or sell him as even a top 5 guy the rest of the way.
Well, Lisa Ann brought up a very important point here just a second ago when we were talking. Mohamed Sanu, when he comes back, when Sanu comes back, he's definitely going to be able to get open a little bit more. But recently, I mean, they're double covering him.
That's the problem. That's the problem. And this is what makes the Austin Hoopers and the Taylor Gabriels very relevant in Atlanta, because no one knows who to cover on this team, and we all know Matty Ice can get it to whoever's open. So they're double covering Julio. Mohamed Sanu does provide that, opens it up, and also he's a great target, and he has been getting it done week after week. So I could not sell Julio Jones either. I just couldn't do it.
So you know what we do here? We win you money. Nick has a promo code for us, which he can give you, and it'll be posted in the comments. So we'll have Nick give you that, and then we'll give a couple picks. Lisa will give 2 fantasy picks. Nick and I will give you 2 gambling picks. We'll win you money. We'll win your fantasy league, and then we'll get out of here. So how do people get our deal when they're going to go win some money?
Well, the best way to go is we're going to put a link right below the video, so you can just go and click
that and click subscribe and click that.
Yes, you get a nice big bonus that you can use with BetOnline.ag, who we partnered up with. And you could also go to BetOnline.ag and then put in the special code QuickTalk. But the link is always the best.
Yeah, either way, make sure you go win some money. So I'll start. We'll, I guess, just go down the line. Lisa, I want to hear your pick. What quarterback you're going to use to replace Aaron Rodgers this week?
So I'm going to go between some of the leagues where I had Dak Prescott. I had Andy Dalton on my bench since he was, I only dropped him in 1 or 2 leagues. I didn't give up on him, so I still have Andy Dalton, who I think could have a good run the rest of the season. And Tyrod Taylor was available in one of my leagues, so I picked up Tyrod. That's quarterback, but I want you to go out there and pick up Marlon Mack if you can. Today it was announced that Robert Turbin will be missing the rest of the season, and though Mack might not be getting it done in the next 2 matchups, you can look for a late November, early December run from him. Get him before somebody else does, because you'll have another injury on your team, and you'll need a Marlon Mack.
All right, Nick, win us some money. What's your first pick this weekend?
We'll do the Saints. Saints minus 5.5, playing the Packers. Yeah. Brett Hundley is in there.
Not buying it, huh?
Yeah, I'm not buying it.
No, Jordy's going to...
It's just so tough to see.
Ty Montgomery's still beat up.
Yeah, I think the Saints... I mean, their defense is playing well, too.
Yeah.
And they've got... the guys are coming back, so...
Except at the end of the Lions game last week. Their defense didn't look great then. I'm going to go with the Thursday night game. The Chiefs and the Raiders. It's the Chiefs -3. I'm going to take the Chiefs. The Raiders are notoriously bad, especially their linebackers in coverage, and I think they are going to get torched by Tyreek Hill a little bit as he's coming out of the backfield on swing routes and going over the middle, and Kareem Hunt, who's been balled up a little bit recently. I don't think that the Raiders defense, even though the Raiders just signed Earl Bowman, I think the Raiders have no chance of stopping little dump offs from Alex Smith.
And let's not forget about Travis Kelce.
Captain checkdown, yes, yeah, and so I think the Raiders linebackers in coverage, the problems there is going to put the Chiefs over the top. Chiefs coming off their first loss of the year, I think they get back against the Raiders. So the Chiefs -3, and because you have the jersey on, we need a second pick from you. You're going to tell us now if we should buy Adrian Peterson. Are we taking Adrian Peterson? Is he a fantasy stud the rest of the way, including this week?
I do think he has the potential in Arizona to be a fantasy stud. That line being built for David Johnson to run the ball a lot. It is the perfect fit for him. They don't have enough wide receivers. Relying on Larry Fitzgerald forever is not going to be the patchwork they need in Arizona. Jerron Braun, J.J. Nelson, John Braun, they're all good, but they're not consistent. Right. They have big weeks and no weeks. But if you remember early on in the history of Quick Talk Sports, I had mentioned that I had great expectations for a young gentleman in Tampa Bay in the tight end position named Cameron Brate. Look what that young man is doing, getting into that end zone every week and making me so happy.
Well, you always want to make Lisa happy. That's always a positive thing.
And with Fitzmagic in there and him, they have the college connection. It's just going to be beautiful.
All right, Nick, win us some more money. Who you got? Who's your second pick?
Big Ten, you got Penn State and Michigan. It's always a big match, especially this year. Yeah. Because, Penn State's undefeated. Michigan has that one loss to Michigan State. I think that Michigan is going to keep it close. I think it's 9.5 right now. Today is Wednesday, so it could change. I know it's already dropped, I think, 3 points. I think it was minus 12.5.
Right.
Penn State came out.
Yeah.
But Michigan always plays them well. This might be a different Penn State team, but Michigan's D, I think, will keep it under 10 points.
So I've got the last one here, And this is for my beloved 49ers, who are also, like me, 0-6. They're playing Lisa's Cowboys. Maybe Lisa and I should have a bet, a jersey bet of some description.
Des Bryant's going to get in the end zone, I'll tell you that right now. I'll be wearing my Des Bryant.
Everybody's going to get in the end zone.
Zeke's still playing. I just love this little
that's interesting,
the little girl who called Wolf, I now call the NFL. Right? Like, what? No, what? Like, people were dropping him last week. I'm like, don't drop him just yet.
He's in, he's out. I'm not going to tell you what he's like in and out, but... So it's 47, the total here. I don't really trust, well, I don't trust the 49ers offense at all, and I don't really trust the Cowboys offense yet. They've kind of been sputtering around. I don't think the 49ers can score on the Cowboys much, and I don't think the Cowboys, who will win the game, I don't think the Cowboys are going to put up huge numbers against the Niners defense. The Niners have been keeping them close, so I'm going to take under 47. I think the score is probably something like 17 or 20-10. I think the Cowboys win the game. But I think it's under, and I think it's under pretty easily. Under 47 Cowboys and 49ers. We're going to get out of here. It's Quick Talk Sports. We're going to win you money. Use the code. It's down there. You'll win money. Click subscribe. We appreciate everybody who has done so already. Nic Goodwin, Lisa Ann, Aaron Larsuel. We'll see you next week.